All right, let's jump right in. We are going to take a look into the very near future of coding. And I need you to forget everything you think you know about a single global tech world. We're talking 2026, where all the old rules are completely broken and a whole new type of developer is about to take center stage.
You know, for 3 whole decades, we all bought into this idea, this myth, really, the World Wide Web. One internet for everybody. One big, happy family of tech. Well, here in 2026, that dream is over. That myth is officially dead.
And what's replaced it is something people are calling the Splinternet. The global network as we knew it, it's shattered. It's broken into at least 3 totally distinct worlds, and each one has its own philosophy, its own set of tools, and its own rules of the game. So if you're a developer today, you can't just learn to code, you have to ask yourself, which world am I coding for?
So let's start with the first zone, the West, America and the UK. Think of this as a beautiful, powerful, walled garden. It's built on proprietary intelligence. But living in this garden, well, it comes at a very specific price.
I mean, the tools here are just incredible, right? You've got OpenAI, AWS, Azure, Copilot, the best of the best. But here's the catch. You don't actually own a single one of them. You rent your AI. You rent your servers. You even rent your coding assistant. So your main skill isn't really building things from the ground up anymore. It's what we call API orchestration. Basically, you're just a conductor making all these rented services play nicely together.
And this really gets to the heart of the trade-off. On one hand, it's unbelievably powerful. You can spin up world-class AI and infrastructure in, minutes. But on the flip side, you are incredibly vulnerable. A company decides to hike its API prices, your startup could be dead overnight. A politician signs a new sanction, your entire country could be cut off from the very tools you need to do your job.
So let's be blunt about it. If you're coding in the Western stack, your reality is that you're not so much a builder anymore. You're a manager of a very powerful but entirely rented toolbox.
Okay, let's head over to our second zone, the Eastern Fortress. We're talking Russia and its allies. Now, this world wasn't built on convenience or luxury. No, this stack was forged in the fires of necessity. It's all about one thing, resilience.
See, when the East got cut off from all those Western APIs, they didn't just throw in the towel. They were forced to adapt, and they did it fast. They're not using ChatGPT. They've got their own powerful open-source models like DeepSeek, and they've perfected running these large language models locally on their own machines. Forget Windows. That's a liability. Here, Linux is king. And their networks, they're built on things like Telegram, stuff that's decentralized and incredibly hard to shut down.
And here's the really wild part. Because these developers had to figure out how to squeeze every last drop of performance out of regular consumer hardware, they've become absolute wizards of efficiency. We're talking cleaner, faster, just mathematically superior code than their counterparts in the West, who are used to having basically infinite resources on the cloud.
Now, for our third and final world, India's public network. And this one is different. The West builds for profit. The East builds for security. But India is building for scale. Population scale. This is the public good stack.
The whole idea here is this concept called DPI, or Digital Public Infrastructure. The easiest way to think about it is this. They treat crucial digital services, like your ID or how you pay for things, the same way we treat roads or electricity. They're a public utility, open for everyone to use and build on top of for free.
And the building blocks they've created are just mind-blowing. Aadhaar for digital identity, UPI for payments, ONDC for commerce. And the key thing to get is that these aren't products owned by some giant corporation. They're open protocols. The result? India is the only country on Earth where a guy selling tea on the street is more likely to accept a digital payment than a banker on Wall Street.
So, what does this mean if you're a coder in this world? It means you're solving a totally different class of problems. You're not building some fancy, expensive app for the wealthiest 1%. You are building the digital rails for the next billion users. And that requires an obsession with handling massive volume, with practically zero lag at almost no cost.
So there you have it. 3 totally fractured worlds. A walled garden, a fortress, and a public network. So how in the world are you supposed to navigate this mess, let alone succeed? Well, you become what we call a sovereign developer.
See, the sovereign developer isn't loyal to any single stack. They're a hybrid. They take the absolute best from each world. From the West, you learn product sense, how to actually package and sell what you build. From the East, you learn math and open source. You learn how to own your own tools and be truly self-reliant.
And from India, you learn how to think at a massive scale, how to build open systems for everyone.
And in a world where our borders, political, economic, are getting harder and harder, this is probably the most important thing to remember. Your skills should never be limited by your passport. Code is the only truly universal language we have left. The goal is to speak it fluently.
So yes, the internet has split. It's a fact. But your mindset doesn't have to. The future, it's going to belong to the people who can connect these different worlds, the ones who can take the best ideas from each and build something new, something better. The only question left is, are you going to be one of those bridge builders?